Bricks and Minifigs is your one-stop shop for all things Lego. Hit the link below to find a store near you.
I'm Jeff Strong, and I created a bunch of Lightswitch plates. All they do is flip the toggle on your light switch. There's no switch in the Lego. It's just a switch plate you can put on. So here's the Frankenstein, knife switch from over 100 years ago. And this indicates whether it's day or night, or whether the light is on or off, I should say, just in case you're unsure. And this is raising the flag on the castle. Once I got the mechanism that would flip the switch, I wanted to come up with more and more interesting ways of doing it. And I wanted to tell a story, so I thought of the castle. And this was the first one I did here, which was just playing with the mechanisms. Sort of like great ball contraptions, but without the ball. Just something to, sort of a Rube Goldberg thing. And then this is the most recent one I did, and it is a great ball contraption. Kind of the simplest one that I know of, except that it also lights up the light. And this took so much trial and error to get this mechanism to work.
I love how by the time you reach this one here, the light switch portion is such a small part of it, and there's so much focus.
By the way, it turns on the light.
It's like we've completely gone beyond the original intent.
That's right. That's right. So there you go.
That's amazing. So what made you sit down and think, I want to come up with just a really complicated way to turn on the light switch?
I love the idea of Rube Goldberg machines and mechanics. I did create one of the modules for great ball contraptions. But I like the idea that you could make a mechanism that would be the Rube Goldberg idea, unnecessarily complex to do a simple thing. But there's something gratifying about flipping a switch and having a light come on. It's just very satisfying. I don't know quite how to describe it.
Yeah. Right. And so you thought, let's just come up with fun ways to do that here. So you kind of started with this one, you said, right, with just the gears?
Yeah, I was interested in the gears and the levers, and I want to do more of that kind of stuff. Half of this one is the functional part, and the other half is really just for fun, the chains and the splat gear. And other things. This is somewhere in between. I wanted an indicator. I wish I had the right size black piece to make a crescent moon, so I could make kind of a cratered moon, or at least it's not the sun, whatever it is. And there's something about, I wanted something very simple, and I wanted something that moved in a different dimension than side to side. And so it's kind of fun to throw this knife switch. On this one, I have to say, in a real knife switch, the disc is conducting electricity, so it bothers me that it turns on before it gets all the way up here. So I have to work on that.
So with the whole board here then, how did this all come together in terms of putting all the switches and the bulbs on here?
Well, in order to really utilize these and know what they are, they have to be on a switch. And I first stuck switches on a cardboard box and took it to the South Puget Sound Lego group and the Seattle Lego group. And it was okay, but it wasn't a very good display. So I wanted a section of wall. Ideally it would be several sections of wall. I didn't want to be building a house, so I just mounted them on a wall, put in some wiring for them to work. Didn't electrocute anyone in the process. And so now we just get to play. It is difficult to demonstrate at a show like this because some of these pieces are, well, let's just face it, Lego is not the most robust mechanical system. So to have lots of fingers trying to touch it in all different ways is not safe. But it's hard to know what these are until you see them operate. So I've been demonstrating them a lot. but whenever I can, I move the stanchions out of the way and let the people get their hands on here. But I haven't been able to do that all the time because it can get out of control pretty easily.
Well, that's really cool, though. You do have some element of letting the public interact with this and kind of see how those parts operate.
I do it all I can. I do it until it looks like something's gonna break. And some things, I came back from lunch and had to, it was clear that people were operating the wrong part of the thing, and that's understandable. They sort of double as puzzles in a way. Yeah.
So this is such a unique idea here. Do you have any plans to expand on this in other ways in the future?
Well, I could see myself making more of these just for fun, but right now there's so many other things I want to do. I'm gonna just kind of let this one ride for a while and move on to the next thing.
There we go. I think there's so many cool ways you could take this, so it's really neat to see what you've done so far, and I appreciate you kind of taking a very different approach to Lego building and incorporating it with kind of an everyday object like a light switch like this. So it's super neat. Thanks so much for bringing it out to the show here.
My pleasure. I've been really eager to share this with others because I haven't seen this before at a Lego thing, and so I'm glad people can finally see it and get their hands on it and play with it. So.
And can we go around to the back at all and see what it looks like on the back there? So, if we come around to the back here,
it looks like somebody's bad basement wiring. Now, if you show the top part, we'll get in trouble because that's not to code. Don't lick those sockets at the top.
Man, I was just gonna do that. Thanks for the warning.
Everything else should be pretty good, but.
So this is kind of the behind the scenes then of how you wired it all up.
Yeah, I just tried to make what would be in a house, because the idea is you could just slap one of these take your switch plate off, put this switch plate on, and you'd be good to go. So I wanted all the wiring in place, and someone just before I spoke to you, someone came up and said, "Well, how do you activate the low voltage wiring and make it look like it's 110 volts?" I said, "Well, it's 110 volts. That's how. It's plugged into the wall."
So yeah, you got like a nice business idea here as well. Then fancy Lego switch plates.
A person could do this. Now I don't want a job, so I'm not going to do that. But if someone wants to make these or plans for them, that's okay. If you make money off of it, I'd appreciate a cut. But I don't expect that. You bring something into the world, you set it free. So there you go.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much once again.
My pleasure. Good talking with you.